Hello, my name is Susan, and we're here for another episode of Crafting at Home from Aaron Public Library. Since Flag Day is coming, I decided that we would do another patriotic project. So we are going to be making a patriotic fringe flag. And again, I thank the crafters on Pinterest because that's where I got the idea. So this is what we're going to be making, and we're going to get started with our supplies. I have a 12-inch piece of burlap ribbon that I'm going to use to create a hanger. I have a glitter star, which already has 5 glue dots attached to the black. I have a piece of 1x4. Now, this is just a randomly selected size because this is what we had. So it was a 1x4. It is approximately 9¼ inches. It currently has 2 coats of Admiral Blue acrylic paint on it. I'm not planning on hanging this outside, so I didn't put any kind of a sealant on it. I did the front and the edges. I left the back plain. Now on the back, I have a couple of lines drawn in. There's a line that is 3/4 inch from this edge of the board, and a line 3/4 inch from the bottom edge of the board. And on one of those lines, I've given myself the center. So that's my piece of wood. Our flag is going to have 5 red stripes and 4 white ones. And the stripes are created using layers of ribbons with different textures and different sheens just to give you a nice visual when you're done. In each one of the white stripes, there are 4 white ribbons of varying degrees and sizes and textures, and I put in 1 gold one just to catch a little bit of the sunlight. Each one of the red stripes has 3 pieces of ribbon. One of them is the wired gingham. I put in the patriotic stripe and a red one with a fringe just to give you a little bit more texture. Now, the way that I did this is to do all the red stripes first. So if you remember, I have that 3/4 inch line with that center mark, and I'm going to be using a hot glue gun. Now you could do this using a stapler, but I'm going to use the hot glue gun, and if I don't think it's going to be sturdy enough, I will go back and use the staple gun on top of that. So my only tool today is a hot glue gun with lots of glue sticks. So I'm going to start by doing the 2 end ones, the red ones first. And these do not have to be done, it doesn't have to be done in a specific order. And I'm just right at that 3/4 inch mark, I'm just going to put a little river of hot glue very quickly. And then I am going to push that ribbon in. And if they overlap each other, that's okay. So you'll notice I have 3 pieces of ribbon, but you're only seeing 2 of them right now because they're kind of overlapping each other. So that's my first red stripe. Now I'm going to come and do the other end. And you're going to notice as I'm doing this project that I'm not going to be measuring. I'm going to eye these up because there's too much ribbon here to be trying to measure it. So all I'm doing is pushing that ribbon into the hot glue. So I've done the far left and the far right. My next step is to do the center one. And notice I'm trying to line it up with that 3/4 inch mark. Now that 3/4 inch mark, the 3/4 inch mark, that was just an arbitrary number that I chose because I felt that 3/4 inch would give me enough of a staple area to hold that glue down. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to put it right on top of that center mark that I made. And again, I'm not going to worry about if it's in the same order I did the other one. You do feel a little bit of the heat from the hot glue, but not enough that it's going to bother you. So I have the first 3 red stripes in. Now, I need to put a red stripe in the center of each of those areas. So I'm just going to eye it up. I'm going to put that same little river of glue. And I'm going to hold that in there. And I have one more red stripe to do. So we have 5 red stripes. And this is where we are. Not quite even, but that's okay. All right. So now we're going to attach the 4 white stripes. And these are made out of some different ribbons, including one very big one. So what I'm going to do, because I did feel when I made the first one, the model, that the white stripes kind of got lost because the red was pretty powerful. So I am going to put the exact same ribbons that you see here, but I'm going to put the white ruffled ribbon behind it, so that we don't lose that white stripe in amongst all the red ones. So in order to do that, I am going to put another strip of hot glue, and I'm going to get all these little white ones pushed in there, and then I'm going to put this large white ruffled ribbon on top of it. That's the plan. Let's see if it works. All right. And again, I'm not going to worry about the order I do it, because they kind of hang in a flowing fashion, so 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to hold those. Oh, this one came loose. Okay, so we're just going to put a dot there. So then I have these attached, they're down. I'm going to put another little river of glue here, and I'm going to attach this big white ruffled ribbon. I don't know whether I mentioned it, but most of these ribbons came from Walmart. Some of them from Hobby Lobby. A lot of them were just things that were left over sitting in my craft room. There we go. Oh yeah, I like that. All right, so we have our first white ribbon, and I do think that white ruffle back there is a good decision. All right, so now we're going to repeat that process, and we're going to put the little ones in first. Now that I have the red ones down, I don't have to worry about going left and right. I can, because the area where I want to put the ribbon is already created for me because of the red ones that are already there. And again, because of the kind of project this is, it's going to be hanging, it's got some fluidity to it. If it turns out that you have a ribbon that has a front and a back, And if one of them goes down backwards, in this kind of a situation, that doesn't make a difference. All right, I have my basic ones down. I'm going to put another river of glue, and I'm going to put this lovely white ruffle on top, and I'm going to press that in. Okay. Two to go. All right. You can tell that there was more space here because they're not as overlapped as the first two were. All right, I'm going to put my river there. Push that in. One more. Keep waiting for the glue gun to hit the floor. Alright, got those down. Add another layer here for that heavy ribbon. And I'm going to hold that in there. Ooh, hot. So all my ribbons are taped at that 3/4 inch line that was at the bottom of the board. Here's the front side. I do like this one with that extra layer of ribbon there. I think it makes it very attractive. All right, so this is the front of my board with that little extra glue there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I put a little mark in the center of the board because I'm going to place that glitter star right there, and this is going to get covered up by the glitter star. This was just left over from another project. I want this to lay very, very flat. So normally I would put a glue dot in the center and I would call myself finished. But this time, because I want it to be very flat, I used 5 glue dots and I put them as close to the ends of the points of the star as I could. Now I'm going to go ahead and take these protective sheets off, and we haven't used glue dots in a while. When you go to take this top sheet off, sometimes you have to use your nail to actually hold the glue dot on the original. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to take all 5 of the protection sheets off. For reasons unknown, they work better for me if I pull from a corner. I don't know why. Now you could paint the star. You certainly don't have to go out and buy cardstock. If you have white acrylic paint, you could paint the star. If you had a white sticker, you could do that. Two to go. Oh no, only one to go. Sometimes they are not easy. Now, the one thing I do want to tell you before you go to put this down, glue dots are not forgiving. You cannot move this once it goes down. So you want to make sure that you have this going in the direction that you want. And I don't work well upside down, so I'm going to turn this around for just a minute. I'm going to put this in the center. And again, I'm not measuring, I'm just eyeing it up. And then I'm going to press those glue dots in. And here we go. Alright. So the last thing we need to do is to create some sort of a hanger. Now I know that I'm going to put this on my front door, and it is protected by a storm door, which is why I can I don't have to worry about weatherproof ribbon. I'm going to just use ribbon to create this. You could use wire. If you're going to hang it on a wall, you could put a hook on the back, because this is a 1x4. It will tolerate that. If you have eye hooks, you could put eye hooks in the top and then run ribbon or wire through those. You can do whatever sort of a hanger you want. You kind of have to think about where you're going to put it. Now, the other thing you want to think about, this is fairly heavy, because you've got the 1x4 plus you've got all this ribbon, so you want to keep that in mind. Since we're working with a hot glue gun, I'm just going to keep going. I chose a short piece of ribbon, again, because I know the hook that's on my door, but you need to think about that when you decide how you're going to attach yours. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. That's why I have that other 3/4 inch line here. Oops. And I'm just going to press that in. Press that in. I liked the idea of the burlap to go with all that ribbon, and with the Admiral blue, I think it just is a good, it's a complementary material. But you can certainly use whatever works for you, or what you have, whatever's available. Now again, because this is holding up a lot of weight, if you want to reinforce this by using a couple staples or a tack, you are certainly welcome to do that. So here is our Patriotic Fringe Flag. This one has that extra layer of white ribbon in there, and I'm really glad we did that, because I like them. And I wish you a good Flag Day, and enjoy.